Welcome back to another three takeaways after Atlanta United's disappointing 3-2 defeat against Charlotte FC. Jackson here, Tyler here, I'm Henry. Let's just get into it, guys. First of all, we're going to talk about the good. Bartosz Slisz, right? Amazing in midfield. I've tweeted about it. He just was very active, getting forward and putting in some good balls. Had the assist for Tristan Miumba's headed goal? What? Tyler, what do you make of his performance?
Slish has been, in my opinion, consistently one of the best players on the pitch for Atlanta over the past few matches. I mean, I put it in my article on the website as well, but it's frustrating for him, I know, because he's such a competitive player and an emotional player that not getting results and not getting wins out of these matches is probably eating him alive. But he's been really good. He's been much more mobile, in my opinion. In the past few matches, he's kind of what you saw Muyumba when Muyumba first got here, except with a little bit more dog in him, I think. And I think a lot of that stems, to give Ronnie Dalla credit. Ronnie Dalla has been pushing him all season. And I think he's starting to maybe take ownership of this team and become a real leader, even though he doesn't have the captain's armband. I think maybe he should more often. I thought he was really good tonight, and he's been consistently good.
He had the captain's armband in preseason for, I think, the Birmingham game, which is really interesting. And this week, Ronnie Dalla did compare him to Roy Keane, which I thought was pretty cool. We talked to him tonight. He was obviously very upset at the results, just seemed dejected, said he was angry. He knows that things have to get better, and he recognizes that it is now a difficult position for this team, given they're 15 points below the line as of tonight. Another standout player, Luke Brennan, who had his first MLS start. What do you think of Luke's performance, Jackson?
I thought Luke did terrific on the flank. His speed, he even said as much. He's like, I just wanted to get out there and beat the right back for pace. And he did that. He chased down plenty of long balls down the flank, even beat the defender at one point and drew a foul. Luke is his first MLS start. He's made appearances here and there. He had that appearance in Toronto, drew that penalty, ended up leveling the game. He's one of those homegrowns that does have that dog in him. He will, and he said it was a privilege and honor to wear the badge tonight. He wants to be out there. He wants to fight for the badge, and the homegrowns really lead the way in that, especially Luke. And so I'm hoping, especially as the season goes on, reaches its conclusion here, that we see a lot more of these players step up because, like we said before the game, they are the future of this club.
Luke for sure had that dog in him, a very technical 1v1 type player. We saw him really stretch this Charlotte back line throughout the game and was very active, particularly in the first half. So it was refreshing to see that bit of energy from him, even though we had a bit of a collapse in the second half. A bit is an understatement. Let's get into the bad of this game. It literally all started when the team came out of the locker room for the second half and Efrain Morales was subbed out for Pedro Amador. Now, we were questioning why that happened. Everyone was wondering why, considering Efra had a very solid game in the first half. But we talked to Ronnie Dalla after the game. He said that Morales just told him he could not continue. He could not continue sprinting. Basically just said he could not continue playing. So it was a shame, but literally 15 seconds after that substitution, Atlanta concedes the first goal. And it's just downwards from there. Tyler, what do you make of what was just a complete implosion of this team in the second half?
So initially, and I made my thoughts, I think, pretty well known, I was furious with the sub because my question was he was your best player on the team in the first 45. He absolutely destroyed Wilfried Zaha. He was playing with confidence. He was playing like he was having fun. And then he comes out, or doesn't rather, come out of the locker room, and it's like, what are we doing? But that one change shouldn't cause such a come apart for the team. You have veteran center backs that are there, that are available. And some of the subs, the way that the subs happen, just kind of didn't make sense to me. And to his credit, Ronnie Dallas said, like, I had to make a choice. And he kind of gave some reasoning behind it. And to be fair, Efra, we found out after the fact, Efra told Ronnie that he couldn't continue. He couldn't continue to sprint. So, I mean, if you got to come out, you have to come out. Not knocking Efra at all, because, again, I think he was the best player out there tonight. But the subs that were then made and kind of the switches that were then made, the defense never settled in. They never settled back into the game. And whether, blame it on whatever it was, whatever the actual reasoning was, but that one sub did alter the entire course of the game. Now, is it just a blatant, like, bad sub in terms of having to pull them out? No, because, again, injury, like, you got to come off. That's fine. But then the way that the team kind of failed to reset and failed to just, like, lock in from that point was almost like it was atrocious. It was such a stark difference from the first half. And it's incredibly frustrating that you have so much confidence going your way in the first half, and then just like that, it's all over.
Jackson, it's a pattern that's developed over the season of decent first halves followed by very bad second half, especially coming out of the locker room in those first 15 minutes. I think the stat was a minus 14 goal differential in those first 15 minutes of the second half. What is your reaction to hearing that and after seeing what we just saw?
Pain.
Valid.
It's rough to see, especially like in that halftime break. I think we were all pretty high on this team. We were like, this is like the greatest half we've seen this season. The team was moving the ball well. The center backs especially were moving the ball well. Efra and Derek Williams were able to shuttle the ball around in the back and really draw Charlotte out. But when you make that change, so Ronnie said that he knew Derek Williams didn't have the full 90 in him. He just came back from injury, went straight in the starting lineup, and he knew that change was going to come. So the substitution forced Matt Edwards in the middle, and from there it just collapsed. And is it mentality? Is it just pure like shake off the rust? I don't know if they go into halftime and just like clean slate. Something about this team can't kick in and restart. And once that goal goes in, I mean, you saw how quickly the team just collapsed after that goal. They had this great first half and then concede, and it's all a wash. The mentality is shot. They concede again not long after. It's just hard to watch them have this lack of belief and resilience after conceding. The resilience doesn't come in until stoppage time, basically. If we've seen the results in the past few games, and even tonight we saw at least one goal come back in the final 10, but it's too late. I mean, you can only scrap for a last minute draw so many times, and tonight luck ran out. It's what's got the team in this position. It's what's got them likely not making the playoffs.
You led into it with that. Takeaway number 3, the belief of Atlanta United sneaking into the playoffs once again. That is slowly evaporating, isn't it? Or, well, now it's more rapidly evaporating, given that the team is, again, 15 points below the playoff line with, I believe it's 11 games to go. Time is quickly running out, and we talked about it throughout this week. We talked about it after the game on Wednesday. This Charlotte game was crucial. It was a 6-pointer. It was important for this team to reignite its playoff hopes and potentially spur a second half comeback into the play-in position, something to give them hope, right? And you fall flat on your face just like that. It's the ugly, right? And then we go into this press conference with Ronnie Dyla, and he just seems completely dejected. Talk to me, Tyler, about what you perceived from the coach in this press conference.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gotten to that point where it's like, what else do you say? What can I come in here and say? And he immediately called the team soft again, and talked about those crucial 15 minutes after the beginning of the second half, and he said if I could fix it, I would make it happen. But it just, yeah, he seemed very, very just down. And morale is shot, and then I think from there we go in the locker room and we see the same thing, right? Like the morale is just I said it to y'all, like it was like a funeral in there, which is to be expected. But I think it's almost like you're literally looking at a funeral for Atlanta's playoff hopes this year, because that's where you're at. I mean, barring an absolute miracle, you are done for the season. Maybe you do something in the League's Cup, but that's not looking great either. And I don't look at fans that have just completely given up on the season and have any ill will towards them, because I mean, you've held on this long. You've tried. You've supported this team in what was supposed to be one of the most exciting seasons they have ever had, and it's all been unfortunately pissed away. And look, I feel for Dyla and the players. I do. Like from a human standpoint, it's got to be the most frustrating thing for them, because like it's just not coming off. But there are changes that have to be made. Period. And that's where you're at as a team.
Jackson, walking into that locker room, you would not know that there were 20 something soccer players, plus, club staff, coaches, even media in there. It seemed silent, dead. You could hear a pin drop. Do you think these players have lost the belief that they can make something good happen out of what has been a terrible season?
I think they know it. I think that that Ronnie Dilo wouldn't come into the press room and with that kind of vibe, with that mentality, if he hadn't just come out of the locker room saying pretty much the same thing. Um, that like not even angry, just disappointed at this point. Like, what can you do? It's rough. I mean, nobody in there had any glow to them, any liveliness. Miguel said hi to us just to like break the awkward silence. It was like so dejected and resigned almost, to the fact that this was the game you pushed, you fell short, and I mean now changes are going to come, and you don't know what's going to happen for your career. It's yeah, you really, like Tyler said, you really feel for them. I mean, this is their job. This is Ronnie's job. The club staff too. I mean, you just feel for them all. Like this is their livelihood, and it's just not going the way anybody thought it would from the start of the season. I'm sure, especially the players themselves. Um, it's sad. It's dejecting. It's all kinds of synonyms, but changes will come, and hopefully can make something out of this nothingness.
Well, you mentioned changes needed, changes could potentially come very soon. The MLS secondary transfer window opens in just 5 days, and Atlanta United already got one piece of business done, signing new center back Enia Mihai, who we ran into in the concourse in there. So you kind of wonder what's going through his head after seeing that game. But yeah, he is the first piece of business of this transfer window, eligible to play starting this Seattle game, which is Saturday the 26th. Excuse me. Uh, and then you wonder what other work this club needs to do, because there's a lot that needs to be added to this roster, and quite a few players that, frankly, they need to be sent packing. If this club is ever to move on and become something better than it is right now, because frankly, there needs to be a lot of change. Don't y'all agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and not to harp on it too much, but it just needs to be a shakeup at this point. I mean, I think whether it's a mixture of complacency, um, frustration, low morale, folks just simply needing a new atmosphere, a new change of scenery, whatever it is. Like, the changes have to be made, and you can only be so busy during a transfer window. But I feel like Henderson front office as a whole are going to be really, really looking to do as much as they possibly can in this window, and that's both inbound and outbound.
Interesting, Jackson.
It is interesting. Chris Henderson was on 92.9 before the game, and I believe direct quote was, "We have a lot of work to do." And
He also said two windows, right?
he also said 2 windows, which I'm sure everybody loves to hear. Just 2 to 3 more windows. Trust, 2 3 more windows. We haven't really given Chris Henderson that much time necessarily to see what he has planned. So it'll be really interesting to see what further additions and subtractions come in this window, and especially in the off season. We know some players have options. A lot of players will be gone after the year. Their contracts will be expired. Maybe move on. And we've already seen some moves. We've seen John Silva transferred over to St. Louis. We've seen Edwin Mosquera loaned down to Millonarios. And that's just the start, I'm sure, for the changes that are coming to this roster, because this roster is not a playoff team, and it's very apparent. It's even more apparent after tonight. And yeah, rest in peace to 2025 Atlanta United.
MLS Cup champions, right? Don't worry, I fell for that trap too.
What can you say?
Anyway, we gave y'all an extra takeaway there, a little bit bonus in case you left this game feeling not happy. That was probably most of you.
If you weren't sad already.
If you weren't satisfied with the product you saw, which we know you weren't, there you go, a bonus from us to y'all. That's going to do it for us on 3 takeaways. We will be back for MLS, our reaction show on Sunday, and MLS Monday on Monday, a regular show on Wednesday, and then we'll be back here for the Seattle game to see if this team finally does something in the last of its 3-game homestand. Incredible that right now they have 1 point from this 3-game homestand.
Yep.
But it'll be their last chance to get 3 points before going into Leagues Cup, which, how many games do they won in Leagues Cup, Jackson?
0.
Sorry if that completely made y'all more pessimistic. That's going to do it for us tonight. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next time.